Gut. Begib dich zu Lady Ashburys Anwesen. Ah, genau, das muss man. Finde heraus, warum sich der verängstigte junge Mann in der Kanalisation versteckt. Versteckspiel. So. Können wir mal machen. Frage ist natürlich, wo ist denn eigentlich... Es wird wieder losgehen. Einmal richtig schön alles falsch drücken. Woran sehe ich denn hier eigentlich, was ein Untersuchungsgebiet ist und was nicht? Da unten. Versteckspiel. Finde heraus, warum es sich da unten versteckt. Wie können wir das eigentlich machen? Wie können wir das herausfinden? Jetzt sollten wir mal hier ein paar Aufgaben machen. Weil wir haben ja ein paar Aufgaben, die wir schon machen können. Das ist der verängstigte Mann, ne? Hier, Versteckspiel. Versteckspiel. Finde heraus, warum sich der verängstigte junge Mann in der Kanalisation versteckt. Erschöpfung. Blutarmut, Migräne. Erkältung. Erkältung. 2 mit Erkältung. Erschöpfung, Neuralgie, Bronchitis, Migräne. Oha. Erschöpfung, Blutvergiftung. Alter, die hat eine Blutvergiftung. Was hat die gemacht? Soll nicht ständig an irgendwelchen komischen Nadeln nuckeln. Das kann auch nur schief gehen, sowas. So, wir gucken mal, was wir herstellen können. Beziehungsweise was wir so haben. So, wir brauchen... Doch, geht schon los. Wir brauchen Erkältung. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. 5-mal Erschöpfung. So, 5-mal Erschöpfung. So. So, dann brauchen wir 1, 2. Viermal Erkältung. Alter Schwede, ey. Blutarmut. Hoffentlich haben wir genug von. Erschöpfung. Blutvergiftung. Blutarmut. Einmal Blutvergiftung und einmal Blutarmut. Okay, haben wir jeweils. Das ist gut. Bronchitis. Glaube ich, hatten wir einmal, ne? Einmal Bronchitis, glaube ich. Einmal Bronchitis zum Mitnehmen, bitte. Migräne, Blutarmut. Wo waren die Bronchitis? Blutvergiftung. Migräne, Neuralgie, Bronchitis. Einmal Bronchitis, ja. Migräne, Neuralgie. Ich glaube, dagegen haben wir aber nichts, ne? Migräne und Neuralgie. Nee, schade. Haben wir leider nichts. Das heißt, sie werden wohl möglich... Das wird noch schlimmer werden dann. Das wird noch schlimmer werden. Gut. Wir werden mal hier anfangen. Warum sind die hier eigentlich alle schon wieder erschöpft und erkältet hier? Was ist denn das hier? Das ist ja schlimmer als in Deutschland hier gerade. Wir werden ja alle nur krank hier. Ja, die Pieper Hawkins. Mensch, Pieper, was denn los mit dir?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
So.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Ja, komm, nimm mal.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Ja, kein Problem. Okay, das war nichts mehr.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
So, dann haben wir... Wo haben wir denn noch was? Dr. Watts. Ich glaube, da unten müsste jetzt noch einer sein irgendwo. Der Newton. Newt Scamander.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Immer.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
Na komm.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You were wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Ja, sehr gut. Sorgen über die Lage in London.
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald refuses to go to hospital. And, unfortunately, it seems the violence is rising.
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Komm mal besser.
Good evening.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Are you concerned about the conditions here in London?
Not really. Sick people, men in arms, fighting every night. I already faced all this during the war.
Oh, harter Hund. Harter Hund.
Goodbye,
So.
Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
So, wir gucken mal. Wir haben jetzt hier, sollten eigentlich wieder alle auf dem Weg der Besserung sein. Wir müssen... Oh Gott, wo ist denn das? Dyson Delaney. Ach ja, die Docks sind das, ne? Oh, da ist kritisch. Okay. Die Docks, die Docks, die Docks. Whitechapel, West End, North Docks, die Docks. Aber hier dann lang, ne? Ja. Zumindest ist das der kürzeste Weg. Ui, hallo. Ein Werewolf. Hier.
Trust the leech, boys!
Gib mir da Blut, Kollege. Das würden wir da hinten machen. Den lassen wir ganz entspannt machen. Ja, was ist denn mit dem los? Okay, wir müssen... Wir können direkt hier lang. yummy, yummy. So. Dankeschön, Dankeschön. Die Vorstellung läuft die ganze Woche. So, ich glaube, hier müssen wir weiter, ne? Ja. Da rein, dann sind wir in den Docks. Können wir hier lang? Wo kommt der denn her? Wo kommt der denn her? Der Mr. Griffin. Dr. Stricklands Liste. Bestellt von Dr. Thoreau Strickland, Pembroke Hospital. Liste der Zutaten und Substanzen. Lacryma papaveris, medizinisches Opium. Natrium Hypochlorid. Kalium Permanganat. Okay.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication.
Ah, Mist, wo war denn das? Da, hier irgendwo, ne? Wo war das? Dann ist es hier, ne? Ah, hier ist es drin. Die Liste, ja. Okay.
Never a good move.
Genau, wir wollen jetzt direkt hier rein. Auf zu den Docks. Kritischer Zustand, ey. Das ist auch heftig. War doch vor kurzem erst noch hier. Er ist gesund. Edwina auch.
Foolish girl and her pretty principles. She's got no idea what she's doing.
Tom Watts ist erkältet.
I hope I live long enough to
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Have you got any recent news on Sean Hampton's shelter?
Have you not heard? The sad saint has been murdered.
Oh, nett. Aber das wohl wahr.
Sacred anymore.
Do you
Was?
need any help?
Can't be good for business to see the bartender cough in your beer.
Was? Es gibt doch immer ein extra
Indeed.
Würze.
It would be a shame to taint the delicate taste.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Reed. My customers and I, we all thank you.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Never even been to India.
Sabrina ist auch erkältet. Boah,
Evening,
ey.
miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm
Yes?
much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
Hatten wir den noch gar nicht.
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
Okay.
If you're uncertain about your safety here, the docks might not be the right place for you.
I got responsibilities. And it's not like I got the money to move anywhere else anyway.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
Mhm.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Okay.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Ja, in dieser Zeit war das normal, ne?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Okay, das war eine gute Entscheidung, hier zu bleiben.
Have you heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter?
His death is proof there's no safe ground in this part of town. The streets live for violence.
Do you require medical assistance, Miss Cavendish?
Don't feel so good if you have to know. I knew that keeping the bar open with the epidemic wasn't a good idea.
Ja, komm,
Take
dann los.
this. It'll help. Perhaps you should think about closing the turquoise turtle for a while.
Tom always said we got to keep the doors open. But thank you, Doctor.
Na, siehste.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Stella Fishburne. Wie kommen wir denn zu Stella Fishburne? Ich glaube, die macht hier die Tür mal auf, ne?
Good evening, madam. It's Dr. Reed again. May I come in?
You best come back in the morning, Doctor.
Nein, will ich aber nicht.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Richtig. Warum nicht?
Please don't stay too long, sir.
Ich bleib nicht lange. Nein, nein. Ich will ja nur helfen. Und dann gehe ich ja schon wieder. Und plündern will ich natürlich.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry.
It's locked, all right.
Okay, das ist verschlossen. Dann reden wir mal mit ihr.
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Okay.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
Gute Entscheidung.
Do you have any news about Sean Hampton's shelter?
What a terrible story. Where is the hope? If even the good souls can be murdered like this.
Aren't you worried about the conditions around here?
Hate everywhere. The city will not sink because of this flu. It's the violence that will finish us all.
Ist das nicht immer so?
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Oh Gott, ich habe gerade schon wieder gedacht, ich hätte Stream beenden gedrückt. Gewalt zehrt von Armut.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum in exchange for food.
Okay.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
The orphan that regards you as a mother, please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Okay.
Mrs. Fishburne, are you in need of any medical assistance?
I am afraid I am, Doctor. I don't feel well at all.
Dann mal los.
Then let me give you a prescription.
I thank you for your generosity, sir. It's something this part of town truly needs.
Sehr gut.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
So, jetzt gucken wir mal. Wen haben wir denn noch hier an den Docks? Erschöpfung, Erschöpfung. Blutarmut. Seymour Fishburne. Wo waren die anderen denn jetzt noch? Wo waren die anderen denn noch?
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Oh, da ist er. Rufus Kingsbury. Hier ist auf jeden Fall noch einer. Der Rufus.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Heard anything about Sean Hampton's shelter lately?
Not since he bought it. Such a sad story.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation?
I never really felt safe in this town anyway. Now's the first time that everyone seems to feel the same way as me.
Is anything worrying you right now?
Gunshots. I hear them every night. Who's firing? Who are they shooting at? That's what's scary.
Ja, das kann ich
So
mir
long,
vorstellen.
Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
Wirkt auch immer alles so ein bisschen wie Krieg, finde ich. Okay, hier links.
It's locked.
Ah, Teacherbot.
Good
Alles
evening,
kritisch
Mr.
hier.
Throckmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
Nein, 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 nein. Eigentlich nicht so.
Have you heard any rumors regarding Sean Hampton's shelter?
I spent days observing the place, but the vampires still got him. Evil. It's everywhere, Dr. Reed.
Sorgen über London.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
It seems the Guard of Priwen has declared war on vampires. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, though.
Really?
Naja, die schmecken ganz
I
gut.
thought you'd be thrilled by this news.
The Guard can be reckless. They rush into a fight without thinking. The citizens of London should not be the collateral victims.
Okay.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Actually, I may. In my line of work, I have to stop at any sign of infection.
Treating a vampire hunter's wounds is certainly a first for me. I'm happy to help you, of course.
Thank you,
Auf
Doctor.
zweierlei Hinsicht, ne?
Your support means a lot.
Er ist Vampirjäger und hat Blutarmut. Wie kann denn sowas sein? Hat er sich aussaugen lassen, oder was?
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Ich finde, er sagt es immer so ein bisschen mit so einem gewissen Unterton. Weidmanns Heil. Lottie Paxton. Die Lottie. Die ist abgeschlossen, naja. Mensch,
Glad to
Lottie.
see you again, Mr. Reed.
Och, Lottie.
Do you have recent news of Sean Hampton's shelter?
I can't believe that someone could be cruel enough to assassinate a saint. Maybe Giselle is right. Maybe this world is doomed.
Wer weiß.
Are you worried about the sanitary situation in London?
There are rumors of infected people turned mad by the fever and roaming the streets, attacking everyone they see. Is it true?
As long as you stay away from the streets, you should be all right.
I hope you're right, Dr. Reed. We feel kind of left alone around here.
Do you need my medical attention, Miss Paxton?
I can keep going, Dr. Reed.
Oh, Mann. Dann kriegst du jetzt
Of course you
Medizin.
can, Miss Paxton. But I wouldn't recommend it. Please, take this. You will feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Thank you. Really.
Wie hat die eigentlich eine
Do
Blutvergiftung
you need
gekriegt?
my medical attention, Miss Paxton?
I'm fine, Dr. Reed. Keep your medicine for those who need it.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Und Giselle Paxton. Ach, die steht draußen. Ah, wir haben nichts gegen Migräne. Auch, Mann. So, das heißt, wir müssen jetzt noch den hier finden, ne? Martin Nightingale. Martin Nightingale. Schade, dass die Personen nicht auf der Karte eingezeichnet sind. Das wird es ein bisschen einfacher machen. Das wird es tatsächlich ein bisschen einfacher machen. Klingt gesund, der Husten. Das sind Ratten.
Please, sir.
through.
Da ist er.
Are you certain you're not lost, sir? You seem quite the stranger to...
Den haben wir
Good evening,
gesucht.
young man.
There's no need to call me that, Dr. Reed.
Have you heard anything recently concerning Sean Hampton's shelter?
That is what happens when you try to help others. You attract so much attention you end up dead. Especially in these dark times.
Are you feeling worried about the sanitary situation in London?
This city is falling apart. The disease kills so many people. No one cares about anything or anyone anymore but themselves.
Young man, do you require medical attention?
I don't like asking for help. But I don't want to be one of those poor sods dying in the streets.
There's no shame in asking for help, especially when you are in desperate need of it. Here, take this. You should recover in no time.
Thank you. I suppose.
Sehr gut.
Show me what you have to offer then, Mr. Nightingale.
Gut. Das heißt, die überholen sich jetzt alle so langsam, außer sie. Wir müssten jetzt natürlich noch einmal dahin. Hier noch mal ein bisschen helfen. Erschöpfung, Erschöpfung. Krass. Neuralgie, ja, das ist auch geil. Das haben wir nicht. Trotzdem ist das hier immer noch ein gefährdeter Bürger.